What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, and happy Thursday, people, as we count down the week to Arsenal playing on Monday. But big up to everyone tuned in, appreciate the support as always, and it's only right that the green screen today is one man and one man only. It is the birthday of the king, the GOAT, the legend, you know, the best ever Arsenal player, in my opinion, Thierry Henry. It's his birthday. I know people have a lot of debate over that. There are a lot of people who say Dennis Bergkamp as well. But listen, Thierry for me is not only the best Arsenal player I've ever seen, but the best Premier League player that I've ever seen. So Thierry Henry, the king, the GOAT of Arsenal, happy birthday to him. It's only right he got the green screen today, of course. So yeah, it is what it is, people. Thierry, the legend himself. But listen, big up to everyone locked in. Curtly, that rhythm sound wicked. Same old rhythm, bro. Been running that for years, but it's still a good one, I can't lie. Happy birthday, King Henry. What we would do to have him now, I was actually thinking, you put Henry in this Arsenal team, I think we win the title. I think we win the title, because you're going from a striker that gets you 10, 15, you're getting a 25 to 30 goal striker. That's how close I think we actually are to potentially winning the league. I think Henry would win Arsenal the league. But how much would a Thierry Henry cost you in the modern game? You know, what player even is on that level? Probably you'd have to go and buy Mbappe or someone. And we know from my question that didn't go down too well. But big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Like the video, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Manchester City winning the Super Cup last night against Sevilla. I actually think Sevilla should have won the game. Created loads of chances. And Naziri, they did really well, but they lost on penalties. Manchester City win yet another trophy. It's crazy, isn't it? Man City are just a machine. You know, they are a machine that finds a way of winning. They are relentless. They didn't actually even play that well yesterday. All of a sudden, you're seeing a treble, now the Super Cup. Then they've got the World Club Championships to come. They'll probably win that. Obviously, we clipped them in the Community Shield. And like some of you are saying, I mean, Quinton said City look sluggish, but City are notoriously slow starters. They are. And you know, Pep was saying they've only played 3 pre-season games. They needed more time off because of the treble, playing the Champions League into June. I think City will get better. And that's the thing that always worries me, you know. They tend to get better. I mean, you look at that game yesterday. City played Akanji and Vardio at centre-back, who, by the way, are 2 top-quality centre-backs. And they had Stones and Diaz on the bench. That's their 2 first-choice centre-backs on the bench. De Bruyne didn't play. Bernardo Silva didn't play. You know, 4 of their probably best starting lineup players not in the team, and they still won. So, right, listen, Elliot, I need you to drop me a message, right? Because I've been really trying to get this sorted out. If you're on Insta or Twitter, drop me a message. Basically, what I need you to do is comment on a video. Obviously, you can't comment on my video. But if you can comment on a video, I can unblock you like that. So maybe but message me. If you're on Insta or Twitter, message me, please, and I'll sort it. I have been trying to do it. I found it the other day, but I couldn't find how you've been blocked. So free Elliot, man. Free the man, them. I don't know who blocked him, but I can't unlock it. But I'll be able to do it. Drop me a message. I believe he's still in London, by the way, as well. Oh, yeah, not Twitter. Drop me a message on X, people, or Insta. Man said, I'm locked up, they won't let me out. No! Man's on bail. But yeah, it is what it is, man. We'll sort it out. No, it's not my birthday, bro. King Henry's birthday. But yeah, we'll get Elliot out of YouTube prison. Don't you worry about that. It won't be there for much longer. Anyway, let's talk Arsenal, people. Let's talk Arsenal. We got press conference reaction. We got transfer news, possible ins, possible outs, and some rather strange price tags, but we are going to talk about it, and we will go through the waffle very quickly of Mikel Arteta. Now, one thing, and Elliot, you will be happy with this one, by the way. The 3rd kit is released tomorrow, people. Apparently, this should have been released on the 2nd of August. and they delayed it for over 2 weeks for whatever reason. Did Adidas not make enough shirts? I don't know. Usually a shirt comes with some training kit as well. So, you know, if people like a little merch, there will be a merch day tomorrow. Personally, I don't think I'll buy this kit. I've got to be honest. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I'm not against it, if I'm being honest. Something significant would have to happen, I think. But it is nice. It is nice. It's based on an old kit from the late 70s, early 80s. And I have to admit, I do like the Arsenal kits with the old cannon as the badge. So, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It comes out tomorrow morning. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll check that out on the stream tomorrow. I won't be at the Emirates doing a review of it, though. I'm definitely not buying it like the first day. Did someone say merch? There you go, L. Big up, L. Couple super chats. Big C. BCD for my A-levels, but into Brighton. Hey, big up yourself, man. Big up yourself on your A-levels. Well done. Mamadou said, big up, Big C. I told you 2 days ago about Pavard. You did. And you know what? Let's start with it. There you go. You've led me into it nicely, so let's go for it. Now, Arsenal today are being linked with, again, potential replacements for Jurrien Timber, who, as we know, is going to be out for a significant amount of time. And we are being linked today, as Mamadou said, with Benjamin Pavard. Now, I mean, Nico's calling him Pavardinho there. If this happens, I'm going to have to start backtracking. I can't lie. There's some backtracking to do if this one happens, because he's a player that I've always kind of not been convinced about. I've always said he's a centre-back playing at right-back. He can be got at. But then I suppose Ben White is a centre-back playing at right-back, and he's actually probably done better at right-back than he has at centre-back. Now, it is an interesting one because Bayern Munich apparently are willing to let him go. They want 30 million euros, which is around 25 million pounds. He can play at right-back. He can play at centre-back. The backtracking's about to start, people. This is me now justifying why he's a good player in case we buy him. I just want to make clear, I never thought he was a bad player. I just didn't think he was a top-quality right-back. When I watch him play for France at right-back, I look at him as the potential weakness. But hey, it is what it is. 30 games last season in the Bundesliga. 17 were played at right-back. 13 were played at centre-back. So very versatile. 4 goals, 1 assist, 6 yellow cards. Obviously a French international, 27 years of age, 6 foot tall. For £25 million, I've got to be honest, he's not bad. He's not bad. Yeah, Big C, I've always rated him. I think at centre-back he's all right. At right-back, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Could you get somebody better? I mean, yesterday we were talking about people like Kyle Walker-Peters and Castagna, who are going to cost 20 million quid possibly. Is Pavard better than Castagna? I would say, yeah. I mean, I want to make one thing clear. I actually think Kyle Walker-Peters is okay, but I want better. You know, I want better. This is the season to try and catch Manchester City out. I'm not trying to, go for the cheap option. Cheap options don't often lead to success. Sometimes they do, but not often. So Pavard for me, I mean, Nick says too slow for me as a fullback. And as I said the other day, I think right back in the Prem, you get exposed quickly because the left wingers are ferocious. You play against a Rashford in form, a Son, a Sterling, a Diaz. They will rip you to bits. So I'm not sure about him. If you're using him at centre-back and then you've got the option of Ben White and Tomiyasu at right-back, then I think it's a decent signing. If you're playing him at right-back, I'm just not sure about him. But maybe I'm doing him a disservice. Maybe he's a better right-back than I'm judging him on, but I'm just not sure. Let's get a poll up. Why not? First poll of the day. Would you sign Pavard for 25 million? I mean, I have to say, for 25 million, it's not a bad signing, but it doesn't particularly excite me. But then, I suppose defenders are not the most exciting at times, are they? Manacort Nimbo said he's Kai Havertz. Oh, my days. Would you sign... Would you sign Pavard for £25 million? You could see it appealing as well, couldn't you? You know, Champions League, World Cup winner. You know exactly how they're going to talk about him in the press conference when the deal gets done. Yeah, I'm not sure. Can he invert? I suppose he probably can. He has played in midfield a couple of times as well. Would you sign Pavard for 25 million? Yes or no? The poll is up. I mean, Kai said, Big C, there's nobody available. Go to create player mode. And that is part of the situation that we're in. I've got to be totally honest. Number one, there's not a lot of top quality right backs. And if there are, they're not available. You're not getting Hakimi. You're not getting Kyle Walker. You're not getting Reece James. You're not getting Trent. How many top quality right backs are there, people? Let's keep it 100. There aren't many. You could get maybe Denzel Dumfries from Inter. I don't think he's a particularly great defender either. Much better going forward. There is a handful of quality right backs in world football. Other than that, you've got to take a chance. You've got to go for somebody young like a Fresneda, or or a meaty option like a Walker Peters. So there's definitely minimal options in that position. Alan said he would be ideal for Champions League, a lot of experience. Could we get Frimpong, decent player? We have done business with Leverkusen, obviously selling them Granit Xhaka, and obviously a good friendship between Xabi Alonso, who's their manager, and Mikel Arteta. Aluminium says Lamptey, he was a player being rated at 50 million not long ago. The lad at Leipzig, who we spoke about yesterday, what's his name? Mohamed Simikan. Again, as I said yesterday, I don't know much about him. 23 years of age, played for French under-21s. A lot of people saying he's quick and strong, very raw, but a little bit, sometimes gets exposed a little bit defensively. Roll said, I called it yesterday, Arsenal have become so predictable with their transfers. Do we need to get a little bit more unpredictable? I'm not sure that we're even actually as desperate as it looks for a defender, because I think if you've got Tierney and Zinchenko at left back, and then you've got Gabriel, Saliba, White and Kivior as your four centre backs, and then White at right back with Tomiyasu. White would be cover at centre back, but your number one right back. Are we actually desperate? I suppose the worry would be, if you got an injury to Saliba or Gabriel, then you've got to go Kivior or Ben White. Ben White would mean Tomiyasu's at right back, who's very injury prone. So, yeah, I get it. If you can get quality, then I understand it. What I just think is Arsenal should not sign some meaty option who, in 12 months' time, we're looking at again and saying, let's try and get rid of him. So, yeah, I'm not sure about Pavard. I've got to be totally honest. But, yeah, beggars can't be choosers. That's the reality of the situation. Now, a little bit of breaking news. I was going to talk about this guy, and that is following Balogun. Now, I know a lot of you have been tweeting this, and so I might as well lead on to the next story. But Team News and Ticks, who is a very good account to follow if you don't follow, seems to get a lot of inside scoops on Arsenal. Has put that Tottenham have now officially inquired about Balogun, which is unbelievable. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I tell you what my concern is about this. This is my concern. What do Arsenal do if they're in a situation where Balogun's going, they don't want him, and Tottenham make a good offer? What would Arsenal actually do? Because let's say Arsenal want £50 million. What do you do if Tottenham offer £50 million? And no one else is really at the table trying to get him. What do you do? Now, me, all day long, of course you reject it. You don't do anything. You don't do anything for them, and I mean anything. But money talks. Football is a business. We've seen how ruthless. The Kroenkes are not Arsenal fans. If they make a good offer, would the club consider it? There would be a backlash. What the Kroenkes would have to understand, even if you got £50 million for him, if he goes there and starts hitting the back of the net, we're going to get bantered by them, and our own fan base is going to be fuming. So I would rather take less money from Monaco, who are interested in him, than let him go to Tottenham. It would be insane to let Balogun go to Tottenham. There's no way on earth we should be doing that deal. But very interesting. Kulusevski swap deal. Nimbo said sell, but not to top Spurs. We can't be doing that. Listen, sell him elsewhere. You've got to sell him elsewhere. Now, a club that looked like they could be interested in him is Fulham, people. A big story going around today that Fulham want Balogun. Now, it looks as if Mitrovic is on his way to Saudi for big money. I think they've been offered 43 million for Mitrovic. Mitrovic actually a player that would have been a decent plan B option for Arsenal. I wouldn't say he would be at the top of my list, but he would be a good option. But Fulham are going to lose Mitrovic to Saudi, big wages. Fulham target Arsenal striker following Balogun as Alexander Mitrovic replacement. The Cottagers would attempt to drastically reduce their London rivals' 50 million asking price for the former, is it Ream or Rhyme, Lone Star. This report saying that they want to pay around 30 to 35 million. I've always said if somebody gets to around 40 odd, I think they'll take it. But would you rather take 35 to 40 million from Fulham? I think Fulham would be a good move for him. Good club, West London, play good football. I think he'd start there. You'd get decent wages. I agree with Darren here. I think realistically, because it looks as if the player's going to leave and we're late in the window, I would actually be surprised if we could get 50 for him. We seem to be struggling to get to 50. 40 with a sell-on clause, or 20%, 15% sell-on clause, cover your back in case he ends up going for 80 million in 2 years. If you got a 20%, you get yourself 16 million out of it. Chelsea just got, I think, 20% of the Lavia sell-on clause. Sorry, not Chelsea, Manchester City. So you've got to cover your back. But it's just crazy because you see players of way less ability going for big money. I mean, Newcastle are about to buy Lewis Hall from Chelsea for around 30 to 35 million. Now, he's barely been a first-team player at Chelsea, and they're getting 30 plus million pound for a left-back that's hardly kicked a ball for them. I know Balogun hasn't played a lot for us, but, he's done the business in the French league. I mean, Lewis Hall, when you look at his stats, I mean, he's played mostly for the Chelsea under-21s and under-23s. He hasn't even had a loan deal anywhere to prove himself at first-team level, and they're getting 30 million plus 5 million in add-ons. Something needs to keep changing at Arsenal. Why can Chelsea get so much money, even for unproven talent? If Chelsea were selling Balogun, they get 50, 60 million for him, in my opinion. But as I've always said, I think we make it too obvious that we want to sell the player. So therefore, clubs try and, make us low offers. Listen, I suppose the one positive thing I was looking just before we came on the show. We have sold Xhaka for 21 million, which is very good. We've sold Matt Turner for 10 million, so that's 31.5. We've sold Pablo Mari for 5 million, so that's 36.5. And we've sold Austin Trusty. I think that was for an initial 3 million with 2 million in add-ons. So you're looking at 39.5 million plus your couple of million. So we've made just over 40 million pounds in player sales, which is not bad. If we can then pick up some money for Tavares, Lokonga, maybe Balogun goes, which is a shame, but he is going to go. Maybe you're talking 70, 80 million pounds in player sales, which is not a bad summer for Arsenal when you think how poor we've been in previous years. But, we should have made 100 million this summer in player sales, if I'm being totally honest. We're still underselling players. It still looks as if Pepe will be released. Cedric is still here, still struggling to get rid of players. So Balogun to Fulham, I think, would be a good move for him. They play good football. They've got a good manager. There's a clear spot for him with Mitrovic going. I just think, again, it's going to be about agreeing a deal. They're going to have 43 million in their pocket once Mitrovic is sold. I think they should be giving us all of that, to be honest. How can they say they want to give us 35 when they're just about to make 43 million for Mitrovic? You give us that 43 million and you give us a 20% sell-on clause. Even though we want to sell him, let's not act desperate. That's what I would say with Balogun. Balogun, honestly, is one of the biggest sellable assets at the football club. There's no way we should just be handing him out for cheap, that is for sure. Big up everyone locked in. Nearly 20 minutes gone in the show. 2,000 of you locked in on YouTube. 40 of you on Twitch. Big up everyone on YouTube and Twitch. C-Unit Business. E. Ross said, Curtis going to the Shawmery tomorrow. I'm going to try and stay away. The green one, that one I'll have... And you know, I want to see it in the shop, but I'm not like rushing down to the Armory to get it. Jorge said, I'll get you the kit if Timber's back in 2 weeks. Well, there's no chance of that kit then, is there? That's for sure. Big up Jorge. Simon said, Pavard does seem a fair price. I got to be honest, for 25 million, 27 years of age, versatile, I think Arsenal would go for a player like that. I'm going to be totally honest. He has a very stacked CV as well, which, you know, Arsenal will like that. They will, you know, they like selling a player to the fan base by talking about their CV and what they've achieved. And Pavard ticks boxes, you know, he's a World Cup winner. E. Ross said, today's thoughts are not yesterday's thoughts. Exactly, things change, E. Ross. Desmond said, Walker-Peters, we might as well keep Tavares. To be honest, Pavard had a few good years and 2 good World Cups. Yeah, listen, he doesn't hype me, but he might be a smart player. I'm not sure about him at right back. I think at centre back he's decent. Carl said rather Arsenal spend 20 million on Tyler Adams. I think Bournemouth have agreed a fee with him. Now he's decent. He's decent. We nearly bought him at one stage when he was playing right back. Obviously he played centre mid for Leeds. He's decent. Chelsea nearly bought him last week. Simon said Fulham and Monaco offer him 35 million. If Tottenham offer 50, sell all day. He doesn't want us, send him to Spurs. Wow. I think it would be a huge decision for the owners, but it wouldn't surprise me if the offer was big, but I don't think that deal will happen. I think he ends up at Fulham or Monaco for around 40 million. Big up Simon. Sean O'Neill, think we need a centre-half and a 6 more than anyone. I agree that we need those players, but I can't help but think we need a striker. I can't. At centre-half, we've got Gabriel Saliba, Kivior, Ben White. That's not bad. I think we can work with that. Even though I would add another one possibly, because White will be at right back. A 6, yeah, I would take another centre mid, because after Partey and Rice, Jorginho's not bad, El Nenny's not good enough, so I think you need another one. But that striker, Jesus injury prone, Eddie not at the level that I think is required, Havertz not really as a striker at the level, and Trossard is a winger, so you're fitting him in. I still think we need a striker. Still think we need competition for Saka. But, you know, I would like both of those positions as well that you've mentioned. King Gunnar swap Balogun for Son, or they can... Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think Son would be coming to Arsenal, but yeah, I hear you. Big up to King Gunnar on that one. Headphone Merchant, a.k.a. Ty. Saw Rice, ESR and Nelson at a dry cleaners near the Tollington filming what looked like an ad for some camo khaki merch. Remember this chat? Big up to you, bro. Maybe that'll drop tomorrow. They usually bring out some training kit with the kit. So, yeah, man, big up yourself. The inside scoop on that one. And big up Amro said, big up Curtis. And that's from Amro, who is a Chelsea fan. Who's enjoying his summer, of course, as they're buying everyone. Nicky said, yo, guys, Lukaku is an option. Well, Darren Bent said we should sign him. I'm not so sure myself. Elise, big up Elise, the first player to actually say no to Chelsea. Michael Elise, I could not believe this story this morning. Michael Elise has signed a new 4-year contract with Crystal Palace, which is unbelievable. The guy was all set to go to Chelsea, and he's rejected them at the last minute and taken a new contract from Palace on a significant pay rise, so fair play to him. Now, one thing that could lead to, though, and there are rumours surrounding this, now it's saying today that West Ham are now in advanced talks to sign Mohamed Kudus, a player that a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat, in the community, have been saying we should sign. West Ham are now advanced talks to get the deal done. And the reason is they are now panicking that Chelsea may make a move for him. They're still looking for a right winger to challenge some of the wingers that they've got. Obviously, Ziyech is on his way out if he ever passes a medical. Chelsea are now looking at Brennan Johnson, apparently, from Nottingham Forest. So, Kudus, who's been a big target of Arsenal, it looks as if he could be on his way to West Ham unless Chelsea hijack it at the last minute. So, a target that we've spoken about for a number of weeks looks like he could be off in terms of an option to another club. So, that one is an interesting one. I don't think he's willing to wait, Kudus. I think he's thinking, if I can get a good move. Yeah, there's a lot of talk, Daniel, that João Felix could be getting released by Atletico Madrid. Now, I would take him. I would take João Felix. Make no mistake about it. Especially on a free, I would take him. But I think he's going to end up at Barcelona. And apparently it's his dream move. And they would take him on a free. So, yeah, very difficult to see that one happening. Anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. 25 minutes in the show. Big up everyone locked in. Over 2,000 of you locked in. Balogun being linked with Fulham. Now, a story today surrounding the player that ideally I would like us to sign in terms of the fullback options with Timber being out for so long. That is João Cancelo. Now, he's agreed personal terms to go to Barcelona, but Barcelona are struggling to agree the deal with Manchester City. They are very, very, they're in a very, very poor position financially at the moment, and they're struggling to agree terms with Manchester City. Now, it's believed if they can't agree a deal soon, that he will go elsewhere, and it's saying Arsenal are back in the frame to get a deal done potentially for João Cancelo if Barcelona can't agree a deal. Now, it is believed City do want him to leave the Premier League, but would be willing to potentially let him go elsewhere if Barcelona continue messing about. I would love us to sign Cancelo. I think he's a fantastic player. I know he's in his late 20s, but he's a winner. He can play left back. He can play right back. He's been in the team of the season. He's technical. He can invert. He ticks all the boxes. Maybe the age is the only thing. You'd like him to be mid-20s. He's 29, just turned. So you get 2 or 3 quality years out of him. And also, you got to look at, I don't think he would like the way that Pep Guardiola just dismissed him. You know, I think he would have a point to prove, like, what? You think you can just dash me out like that? Okay, watch this. So, for me, this is the one. But if Barcelona get their act together and get some money together, then we ain't getting him. But hopefully they can't get the money and City are in a position where they have to sell elsewhere, and maybe we'll be waiting there with a big bag of money, people. Looking like a bag of money. Who was that song? That was Rick Ross back in the day, wasn't it? But yeah, he would be a great signing for us. And listen, I would love to get him in. He ticks a lot of the boxes that we need, but will Barcelona find the money? That's the last thing. So, João Cancelo to Arsenal, possibly. Let me end that poll regarding Benjamin. Is it Benjamin Pavard? Yeah, Benjamin Pavard. Let's end that one. 66% say they would sign Benjamin Pavard. 34% say no, don't bring him anywhere near us. Lawrence said, Kurt, you guys can have that crybaby. Get him out of my club, referring to Cancelo. Listen, I've got no problem. Zinchenko was on the bench crying at Anfield. I would still take Cancelo. There aren't many better right-backs than him in the Premier League, let's be honest. Prince said the Leipzig defender would be the best choice. No, we can't have Zinni and Cancelo both inverting. It's a good point. They can't even register the players they have, says Daniel. Barca are in a lot of financial problems. Music knowledge is nuts, bro. If it's hip-hop, I'm involved. Don't you worry about it. Anyway, let's continue before we get into the waffle, which will be at the end of the show. I'm building up to the waffle. Jurriën Timber, who, of course, you know, the news was confirmed yesterday. Terrible news. ACL injury. Now, James Green was on Sky this morning at the Mikel Arteta press conference. He works for Sky. And he was saying, he gave a little bit of a positive spin. Don't get me wrong. There's no positive, but I'm trying my best here. I'm clutching at straws. Curtis Straw TV, as people were saying the other day. Timber walked away after his injury and was still walking the next day, which is really rare for an ACL injury. The club are saying it's just a tear in his ACL. There's no further damage to his knee. It's not as severe an ACL injury as it could have been. Now, listen, I'm just giving you the news here. This doesn't mean start celebrating. This doesn't mean he's going to be back in 2 months. Listen, he is going to be out for months and months. You're not seeing him in 2023 in an Arsenal shirt. It's as simple as that. But obviously, the good thing is that it's a slight tear. It's not a rupture. A rupture, for example, is what Virgil van Dijk did. He was out for 12 months. A tear, you could be looking 6 to 8 months, as Zach's saying. You know, as I said yesterday, 6 months, September, October, November, December, January, February. Okay, maybe March. If you're lucky, you get him back March, April. Because not only is this ain't just about him being fit and able to play. This is, match fitness. If you don't play for 8 months, your fitness has disappeared. So, yeah, don't quote me. I'm not a doctor here, but I think you're looking at 6 to 8 months rather than 9 to 12 months. No meniscus damage, no rupture. So you're looking more at 6 to 8 rather than 9 to 12. But like Ross said, you can't rush him. He still could potentially miss the whole season, but I think you'll see him back on the training ground probably March. Michael says back for the Champions League final. At the end of the day, let's look at it like this. I want to put it into context. Last season, our season went downhill in March. March is when our season went downhill, when Saliba got injured. We had no adequate replacement. They didn't trust Kivior, didn't think he was ready, and Rob Holding came in, and the rest is history. If you get Timber back, fit, able to play in March, who knows what position we're going to be in with 2 months left in the season. Whatever we get from Timber this season is going to be a bonus. I said yesterday, for me, he's out for the season. But if he's not, it's a bonus. If you get him back in March, fully fit, and we're still in the Champions League or we're in the title race, it's going to be a huge boost to the football club. So, listen, at least there's no more damage. Let's just see what happens with that one, people. Let's see. Easy said, you're not a doctor, Big C. Well, maybe I am. You never know. I've never actually told you that, have I? But no. He said, young people heal faster. He might not need surgery. 4 months is a possibility. No, I don't think so. And I'm sure, I could be totally wrong here. I'm pretty sure Arsenal said that he was having surgery. I could be totally wrong. But since you're slightly having a go at me there, I'm gonna try and get the facts. Let's try and get the facts. Did they say he was having surgery? I can't actually remember. So let's have a look. What did they say in their official statement about Timber? They said, right, Jurriën Timber medical update. We can confirm he suffered it. Jurriën will undergo surgery. So easy. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Go and sit down. Take your time. Gather your thoughts. And question your comment. And I'll see you in 3 minutes. So when you said he might not need surgery, the club have already said he needs surgery. And I never confirmed anywhere that I wasn't a doctor. Maybe I was a doctor. You never know. So anyway, 3 minutes. Consider your actions. Right, there we go. Maybe I'm an inverted doctor. I don't have the qualifications, but, he's got to consider his actions. There we go. I like the banter in the comments, so you know me, people. Information and entertainment. Yeah, not in a traditional sense, but yeah, I don't have the qualifications. But Simon said, sign Cancelo, then sell him to Saudi in 3 years for 25 million. Sounds good to me. S. Ronnie said, Timber with special group powers. We need him back. And Cooper said, can you imagine Martinelli, Tony and Saka as our front three? Will it ever happen? There's 2 problems with Ivan Toney. Number one, he's trolled us online. We saw it in the documentary. Arteta was obviously rattled by that tweet. He put it on the screen pre-match, knowing that the game was on the Amazon documentary, so maybe he's triggered by him. And second of all, he's just been done for betting scandal. So I'm just not sure. I'm not sure whether they would sign him. I would love to sign him. I still think we should sign him in January, or sign him now for January. Yeah, Elliot, it was an easy time out. He just walked into it. I did mention that on Talking Transfers yesterday, man. Sergio Ramos out of contract till the end of the season. I don't know. He might be past it. I didn't watch a lot of him in Paris, so I'm not sure. 50 Cent was signed by Eminem, who's signed by Dr. Dre, who is not a doctor, who made a song called I Need a Doctor. Listen, if Dr. Dre is a doctor, then we can all be doctors in our own sense. Anyway, people, let's move on. Let's hope Timber's back sooner rather than later, that is for sure. Now, this one's an interesting one. Nuno Tavares. Who let the dogs out? Who? I mean, yesterday, Nuno Tavares linked with Nottingham Forest. Cool. Hometown club. Don't know why they want him, but no, I'm joking. He's a very good player, very quick. Sign him, Forest. Give us as much money as you can. Yesterday, he's being linked with Forest, and they're saying 8 to 10 million. Then I opened Twitter today, and the Standard are saying Arsenal have entered talks with Forest as they try to offload Tavares. West Ham and Galatasaray both showed interest in Tavares last month. Arsenal are thought to want around £22 million if they sell him outright. And John Cross, actually, you remember John Cross, the old, they're going to have a war chest this summer. Well, we actually did have a war chest this summer, actually. But all them years under Wenger, he said we was going to blow up the market, and we never did. He's actually saying 30 million. I mean, I thought it was 30 million Jamaican dollars or 30 million Monopoly money. But listen, I'm telling you now, if Arsenal get 22 British pounds, sterling, cash for Nuno Tavares, I will be applauding Edu. And that's not just because I met him and spoke to him again. No. If he gets £22 million for Nuno Tavares, he deserves applause, because wow. I mean, I don't know if Forest have watched much of him. I'd have took 10 million for him, but if you want to offer 22, damn, I'll take it. I don't know what the currency is in the exchange rate, but damn, I will take £22 million for Nuno Tavares. What I will say about Nuno Tavares, and I said this yesterday, I think Tavares genuinely has potential as a wing-back. I honestly do. I watched him a few times last year for Marseille. In that wing-back role, with the freedom to get forward, he's not bad. As a left-back, forget it. At left-back, no, not happening. Not happening. He's wild. He is like a wild dog. But left wing-back with some freedom to attack, he's going to cause problems. I'm telling you now, I think going forward, there's a decent player there. I don't know what system Forest are actually planning on playing. If they're wanting to play 4 at the back, this is a crazy deal. If you're playing wing-backs, he's not too... He got 6 goals last year for Marseille. He got 6 goals. He played 6 times in the Champions League as well. He did get sent off once. I think as a wing-back, there is still some potential there. But let's put it this way. More clubs are interested in him than Lokonga. The only team that want Lokonga are Burnley. You know, he's being chased by Forest, West Ham, Galatasaray. There's a few clubs. So, Alanga and Tavares would cook. Yeah, that could be a lively left-hand side for Forest. He's not bad. We'll get you 22 million nowadays. It could. Doesn't usually happen with Arsenal. But if we get 22 million for Tavares, I'm laughing all the way to the bank, people. I'm telling you, all the way to the bank. But listen, let's see what happens with that one. We're going to have to sell some players. Pepe, Lokonga, Tavares, Balogun, Cedric, all players that have got to be moved before this transfer window closes in 2 weeks. So Edu's going to have to get busy. That is for sure, people. Let's get into a few of your comments before we get into waffle settings. Man is wild on the pitch, needs tamed a little bit. Yeah, he needs coaching. He's young. He's a young player, needs coaching. That's one hell of an expensive dog, said Chris. Well, they've got winning to replace him now. Bring me Kimmich, says Dan. I think he'll be expensive. That's like 22 million too much. Jake says 10 million for Nuno. I would take 10 million and a sell-on clause, honestly. Nick Taylor, big up to you, bro. Funny how Forest want him. Didn't Tavares get subbed at half-time against Forest in the FA Cup 2 years ago? It wasn't even half-time. It was before half-time. So whatever they saw in him, I don't know. We didn't see it. Curtis finessing his hometown team. As Malcolm X once said, people, by any means necessary. However we need to win that league, even if I have to finesse the hometown club, then so be it. But Chris saying surely it was 2.2 million. Maybe the dot got moved to the wrong place. Anyway, people, let's move on. It is that time. If you're peckish, it's here. If you don't like waffle, my apologies in advance. It is back. We will skip if he starts waffling. It is that time. Forget Maybach music. Forget Rick Ross. This is Mickey Ross, the boss. Coman music. Every word from Mikel's Crystal Palace presser. Can you imagine? Sorry to name drop again, but Edu was saying in LA, he was saying that staff members within the club and players, they watch content creators. They watch Arsenal content creators. Can you imagine somebody from the club saying, Mikel, there's this guy, right, and he's calling you Mickey Ross, the Cone Man music. I mean, no wonder he didn't confirm if we were in for Mbappe when I asked him the question. But it is what it is. I hope, I've always said to be an Arsenal fan, you need a sense of humour. You need to, because, when you think about some of the things we've done over the past few years, 40 million and £1, Yaya Sanogo, Andre Santos, Danielson, Mohamed El Neni, we've had some bad players. You need to be able to laugh at times to be an Arsenal fan, let me tell you. But, no wonder they're not inviting me to Arsenal events. But it is what it is. We will not compromise. We refuse to compromise, people. It is Mickey Ross. It is Coman music. It is waffle settings. We will not hide away from it. We're too far invested now, people. We may even bring out merch, waffle settings. It is what it is, If I miss a few events, then so be it. But anyway, you introduce yourself as Curtis Shaw TV when you ask the question. I know, I should have... it is what it is. Introduce yourself. It is what it was always going downhill from that point. But we shall overcome. Martin Luther settings. Anyway, let's go through it. Is he waffling? I don't know what he said. I haven't watched the press conference. He doesn't look too happy, but hey, is what it is. Before we head into the Palace game, it's surprising. The game's on Monday. They've done the press conference very early. Maybe he's got plans this weekend. Maybe he's on a scouting mission this weekend. On Jurian... Why do I keep saying Jurian? I was told it was Urian, yet I keep calling him Jurian. Kim Kallstrom, Tony Matter on settings. Whoa. Good ass for them. I got a good ass for them. What that? Blood clot. Back mash up, people. I'm telling you, we've had tough times. Meek Mill settings, man. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this. So I had 200 million in one window. I used to dream of this. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's move. It's funny, we spent 200 million. We still don't feel that much better. Timber's injured. Rice, yeah, very good. And Kai Havertz, well, it's a mystery. So anyway, on Timber's injury, he said it's a huge blow, especially for him having just joined the club. To have the injury that he has is a huge disappointment. Obviously for the team, it's a big blow because we recruited him with clear intentions of what he's going to bring. To the team. Evident he's not going to be in this season for us. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some pimping in it. Listen. The brother on Sky Sports just told me 6 to 8 months. Told me it's not too bad. Did he say this word for word? I haven't seen the press conference, but the manager's telling us right there in black and white, he's not going to be in this season for us. Like, why are people trying to hype me up and tell me 6 to 8 months you might have him in February, March? He's not going to be in this season for us. There we go. Straight out of it. Straight out the horse's mouth, as they say. Done. Season over. Is he a doctor? Where's Thingy, man? I forget the brother's name who I put in time out, but if he's back... Is he a doctor? He said he's not. So he's out for the season. So he's done. Confirmed. This ain't even waffle. This is like How is this not breaking news, by the way? How is this not breaking news? The manager said in his press conference he's not going to be in this season for us. I don't understand. That should be everywhere. I don't get what's going on. He's out for the season. So, there you go. Done. Season done. Honestly, I haven't seen any of the press conference. I haven't seen any of the headlines. Arteta said he's not going to be in this season for us. We have to adapt. These things happen and we have to move on. There you go. It's done. Season over. 6 to 8 months. Forget it. Out for the season. Cone Man music. Breaking news. Waffle settings done. Season over. There we go. I can't believe that. I'm actually kind of shell-shocked. He never usually says things like that either. On Yurin's reaction, he's been very good, to be honest. He's a special character, he knows. I think he's started to realise the extent and the amount of time he's going to be out. But he's in a good place. We're all willing to help. We're all very close to him. It's going to be a long journey. I mean, that does not sound good. That does not... Listen, I always say, when a club doesn't reveal a time frame, it's bad. It's bad. It is lock the stream off, Dave, to be honest. And the fact that the club said ACL and never said a time frame, it told you everything. It's bad. It's bad. It's probably more on the 9 to 12 month side then. I mean, 9 months from now, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, it's season done. It's season done. Season done then. So anyway, write him off. Timber's a new signing next season, basically. We've signed him for next season. Wow, I'm actually really annoyed and frustrated with that. How is that not all over the place? On whether his attitude changes, on whether it changes his attitude in the transfer market, he said, I am more thinking about the resources that we have within the team to keep doing what we want to do. It's true that he was giving us very different things in terms of what we could do on both sides, but again, these things happen and we have to be prepared for that. On whether it's an opportunity for Kieran Tierney, he said it's an opportunity for everybody. We're going to need everybody, and everybody is going to be important. The numbers that we have in the squad, especially in those positions, are more limited. So everybody has to be ready. It's MJ bad. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. Charm on really, really bad. And know I'm bad. You know it. And the whole world. Let me stop, man, because I can't lie, man. I was Michael Jackson songs, we can sing them all day. So I better stop. Spy said, Big C, I watched the full press conference and he said so. There you go. He said it. It's done. People saying Reece James could be out for months. Has that been confirmed? Listen, no disrespect to Reece James. I'm trying to focus on us. He seems like injuries are going to really damage his career, Reece James. Yeah, Reece James could be out for a couple of months with a hamstring injury. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I'd rather focus on us. Tierney has to stay. He has to stay now. They can't let him go. On whether it's an opportunity, yeah. On whether Tierney is still part of his plans, he said, well, he played the Community Shield, no. So a player that played 5 days before in the final is part of the plans for sure. Don't buy into that. I'm sorry. I don't. If you leave a guy out of your squad for the first game of the season, it's not like our bench was absolutely world class and elite and he couldn't get nowhere near it. I mean, if I go back to Saturday and look at the bench, just as a reminder, our bench on Saturday was Gabriel, Smith-Rowe, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Trossard, Jorginho, Vieira, Nelson and Hine. It's not bad. I mean... But then you've got 2 left-footed centre-backs there. You don't need Gabriel and Kivior on the bench, to be honest. So he could have put him there. It is a spicy answer, waffling for sure. Answer Big C, you're actually a legend. I'll take that. We always take positivity if we can. Don Tierney is keen to fight for his place. Penalty Spot said, I wonder if Timber said, sorry, boss, I'm done at half-time, and Arteta pushed him in the tunnel towards the pitch. Listen, I know a lot of people are frustrated at the moment saying, why was he allowed back on the pitch? He was clearly injured in the first half, but as I said, you can't make accusations without knowing for sure. On whether Kieran was disappointed not to be involved against Forest, he said, I hope so, yes. Ooh, he sounds a bit moody today. Sounds a little bit moody. On what David Raya brings to the squad, first of all, can I just say, did you see the welcome that Arsenal gave David Raya? I know Ramsdale actually got a very nice welcome when he joined the club, but just that whole David Raya, man, I don't know what it is. Maybe, I'm doing it too much again and I'm reading too much into it, but it just seemed very cozy. The granddad got the shirt with his name on the back. He had his arm round, some nice jokes in Spanish. It all seemed very like, David, don't you worry, my friend. Muchas gracias. You will be the number one. Just be patient. It is what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. As I get older, maybe you're a little bit more clinical. Man said Spanish tax. I'm telling you, it seemed very friendly. It seemed very much like, don't you worry, you're going to play when we get the chance. He said, on what David Raya brings to the squad, he said, better qualities for our game model. It's very simple. We want 2 players per position that can do that. And you saw what happened to Urian. It can happen to our goalkeeper. It happened to Courtois. You need to be prepared because the question will be, what is it? 2 goalkeepers of this size. And if Aaron was to sustain a cruciate injury, then what do you say? You then change everything. So we have to be prepared. We have to be proactive. We have 2 excellent goalkeepers now that fit exactly what we want in our model. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah, it is what it is. On whether there is a number 1, he said any position, number 9, 7, 11, 6, goalkeeper. No, there isn't. Interesting. On Zinchenko's fitness, Alex is doing very well. He's been training with us. Hopefully, we're going to have him available very, very soon. Is he going to play left back on Monday? Badir said Ramsdale is in trouble. Shelby said, Curtis, real talk. Why do we treat Spurs like they are Man U? We should be grabbing their stars like Man City and United did to us. The club has no standards whatsoever. Listen, ultimately over time, how often do Arsenal and Tottenham do business? Doesn't really happen, does it? We got Sol Campbell from them because he was out of contract. They had no say in the matter. So I don't think it's that we're treating Tottenham like they're anything special. Daniel Levy is one of the hardest chairmen probably in world football to get a player from. Tottenham are not going to sell as a player. I hear what you're saying, go and cherry pick players from the lower clubs, but it's not going to happen really with Tottenham, is it? With Daniel Levy and the position that he is and the way he does business. On other team news, he said no new concerns, not after the game. Gabriel Jesus is still not available and not fit, but the rest are all good. Remember, and they was trying to say 2 weeks ago, oh, Jesus will be fit for Palace. I mean, it doesn't sound like it, does it? Even with Jesus, it's another one for me. They said 2 weeks, it'll probably be 4 weeks. I think you probably don't see Jesus before the international break. The international break, I believe, is around the 8th of September. I don't think you'll see Gabriel Jesus kick a ball before that. And certainly not starting a game. Cooper, thank you for the super chat. Can you... Oh, no, we read that one. Ivan Tony. S. Ronnie said 22 mil dog pound. Listen, it's an expensive dog, that's for sure. Big up Kenny with the super sticker as well. Really appreciate that. Even Saliba isn't 100%. Exactly. He said in an interview the other day he's still not 100% yet. Eddie will save us. I don't know what he'll save us from, but you know. Napshot said, question, Big C, where's our new signing? Joaquin gonna play at? Oh yeah, David Raya's granddad. Tony Claude Gunner TV said, big up Curtis, big up yourself. 2.4k now locked in. Big up South London's finest supporting. Make sure people like the video and subscribe. Let's get through the waffle. On Kai Havertz's start to his Arsenal career. Here we go. You're going to hear some cap here, people. He's fitted in really well. I think he played a really good game against Man City. He had 2 big chances to score, and he didn't. But everything he did apart from that, he was excellent. I mean, even the fact he says big chances, you know, he should have scored one of them. The other day as well, he played in 2 different positions throughout the game. One more as a number 8, one more as a number 10. I'm really happy with what he's bringing to the team. His intensity, mobility, and his his understanding of the game and spaces and the way he's fitted in around the boys as well. So I'm really happy with him. I mean, when you've spent £65 million, you've got to say that, haven't you? You've got to say that. Kai, his new position of left back, he even knows he's not good enough. Listen, he's got to hope that it works. He's going to do that in a politics. He can't come out and say, he's looked rubbish and why did we buy him? You just spent 65 million. It's got to work somehow. I don't know how. On if he is satisfied his defence is strong enough despite Urian's injury, he said, we didn't plan for this injury. We have to assess now what the options are. Best way to get the best. I cannot control. Let's skip it. On the positives from Forest, he said the dominance of the game, the amount of times we played in their territory, let's skip it. On being more clinical, we have to be when you play games of this type. It has to finish 3, 4, 5. And I'm glad he's saying that. Don't make excuses. I said it after the game, you've got to finish teams off. You can't be 2-0 up at home against a relegation-threatened team and end up winning the game 2-1 and hanging on. Finish the game off. Score the third and fourth, and you can enjoy the game. On Saka's development, I think he keeps growing year by year. You set him new targets, he sets himself. Listen, we know he's a great player. On the new goalkeeping situation, he said, when we had different goalkeepers, there were questions as well. To have 2 excellent goalkeepers is great. There's nothing wrong with it. We have 2 great left wingers, 2 great strikers. Pause, but I don't think we do, mate. Who's the 2 great strikers? I would have asked him to name them. 2 great holding midfielders. We have Jorginho, Thomas and Declan, and that is not a problem, and it should not be a problem. We want to be better every day. And if he believes our strikers can score 20 goals, these are the questions that I like. I mean, he's going to answer it like a politician, but that's what I'm talking about. He said, we haven't had that player. But we have managed to be extremely competitive without that player. It means the goals have to be shared around more, but nobody can sign a piece of paper that says a player will score 20, 25 or 30 goals. We don't know. And if somebody knows, please raise your hand. I wish I was in this press conference because I would have raised my hand. His names. Martin Odegaard scored 15 and before he used to score 3 or 4. Wow. What we are doing is working in the best possible way. Where's the faith in your strikers there? Let me say 2 things. The last 20 goal a season striker, you cancelled his contract and binned him, by the way. A certain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So that was your last 20 goal a season striker. And surely when you spent 45 million on Gabriel Jesus, a striker that has scored 15 at Man City, surely there should have been plans that can we get him from 15 to 20. So I'm just really surprised that he hasn't sort of said here, we're looking for our strikers to score more goals. But it is what it is. He doesn't want to put pressure on them. On which team he was supporting the Women's World Cup final? I mean, he's Spanish born and raised. Surely he's going to want Spain to win. He's not going to say it though, is he? And whether he's been given assurances that he can bring in new players, he said, it's never my own decision. It's a decision we make as a club with a lot of people involved. There are a lot of elements to that, but my focus is on getting the best out of the squad we have. We're in the middle of the competition. We are open in the transfer market both ways because we still have things to do both ways maybe, but that's my aim. So I think he's telling you there that he wants to sign somebody else. Coman waffling. Penalty Spot said, we need a ruthless striker, not a bunch of centre forwards and advanced cams. I totally agree with that. Because as much as Pep had them, he's gone for the specialist and he's won the treble. It's no coincidence that Pep getting Haaland led to City winning the treble and the Champions League because he had a machine up front with a supreme goal record in that competition. On whether he can rule out any defenders leaving, he said there are not any plans on doing anything like that. I mean, I'm sure he's going to sell Cedric and maybe 1 or 2 others, Nuno. On whether the recent injuries to the likes of Timber, De Bruyne and Mings are a result of increased schedules, he said there was also Buendia, it's happened to Courtois and Militao. He said there is something there. You can say there have been games in the past, tours, but the games plus the tours, plus the World Cup, plus this, plus the internationals, it's a lot. It's too much for the players. It's incredibly demanding. When you see the next 36 months of the calendar for those players, it's just better not to look at it. Obviously, you've got this season and then you've got the Euros next summer. Let's end it there. There's only so much waffle that we can take, people. And I think that's enough before he puts us all to sleep. There's only so much of that we can take. Let me get into a few comments before we start to round up. Big up to everyone locked in as usual. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe and all of that good stuff. And we'll get into a few of your comments. Louis said we need a striker. Vlahovic is available and João Felix. Felix could be a free transfer by the end of this week. I know he's not a prolific goal scorer, but I'd take him on a free. Vlahovic, obviously, Juventus could swap him for Lukaku, so can we get him? Kieran said Jurriën Timber's injury is going to kill our season towards the end, when Saliba was injured. Raul said we keep on saying we need a 30-goal striker, but Lewandowski in Barca, Kane in Bayern, Osimhen in Napoli, we can't get any of them. But listen, we're not even just saying 30 goals. I'm saying 20 goals. Ivan Toney scored 20. Gabriel Jesus got 15 at City. I was thinking playing up front for Arsenal and being the first choice, he could get close to 20. Obviously, the 3-month injury stopped any possibility of that happening. Would he have got 9 goals in those 3 months? We don't need a bloody striker, said Biella. Why do we not? Why do we not need a striker? We didn't win the league. Our striker scored 11 goals. City scored more goals than us with a top quality striker. So why do we not need a striker? Somebody needs to explain that to me. There's no point going in the comments going, we don't need a striker. You tell me why we don't need a striker. I'm here for explanations. Big up Flo Irie said at the hospital waiting for my baby girl to come out. Big up Flo Irie, more life. Big up yourself. Hope everything goes well. Blessings to you and the family, Flo. Penalty Spot said, for me, Tony is the obvious choice, but off the pitch issues mean he's not an option for Arteta. He's definitely the obvious option. Angus said, I want to go for Jonathan David. I mean, Jonathan David scored a similar amount of goals last season to Balogun. Balogun's younger, came through our system. Why not give Balogun a chance is always my question with Jonathan David. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's finish on a positive. Let's finish on a positive note. And you're right, Cliffo. He moans about the schedule, but overplays Bukayo Saka. And NK, you're right. Jesus, one of those months was during the World Cup. So, yeah, it was effectively 2 months. Joshua, big up yourself, bro. Big up Curtis. Just joined watching from the start. Happy birthday, Thierry. Right, he had a superior strike rate for Arsenal, though. Right, he is my guy. And, of course, you're kind of a Palace and Arsenal fan, so you're always going to love Righty. But Thierry's the king, man. Thierry's the king. But Righty, of course, is an absolute legend. Let's finish with a final story. PFA Player of the Year. Why they do this at the start of the next season, I'll never quite know. 6 players have been nominated for PFA Player of the Year for 2023. And Arsenal have 2 players in that 6. The 6 players, Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, Harry Kane, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and John Stones. Brilliant to see 2 Arsenal players nominated for that. I mean, listen, I'm going to keep it a book. There's only one winner. There's only one winner. There's six names there, but only one person is going to win that trophy. That is for sure. And it's going to be that robot up front. When you scored 50-plus goals, there's only one winner. Kevin De Bruyne, for me, I would say the best player in the Premier League. Erling Haaland, 50-plus goals, the best striker. Harry Kane scored, 30 goals in all competition in a terrible Tottenham team. Odegaard, for me, last year was the best attacking midfielder in the league, 15 goals. Saka is, with Salah, the best right winger in the Premier League. And for me, John Stones, I think he's one of the most underrated players in world football. I think he's absolutely brilliant. So I think, all 6 of those players is why I gave them a special mention. I think they're all quality players, and all deserve a mention. The reality is there's only going to be one winner. It's going to be Haaland. Them goals, when you score that many goals, you deserve to win. But it's good to see Arsenal players being nominated for things like this, because let's be honest, we haven't seen enough Arsenal players being nominated and getting in team of the seasons, and we just don't see it. So, listen, I think it's good that Saka's been nominated, but Haaland's going to win this. I think we all know that one. So, listen, I think this one is voted by the players as well, the PFA one. So, we'll have to see with that one, people. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. Been an excellent show. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for all your support on the channel as always. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow. Day is it tomorrow? Probably do 2 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure you like the video, subscribe. We'll do a member stream at the weekend. We'll also do watch along Saturday night. We'll be doing Tottenham Man United. I might even do the Man City Newcastle game straight after. So big up to everyone. Enjoy your Friday. And the final one, he sacrifices strikers for the system, then sacrifices the system for Havertz. Big up, Brio. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like the video and subscribe. Enjoy your Thursday, and I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.